WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Oh, nothing, man. Just nothing.
Not a lot going on in the world of Blackhawks hockey. I mean, nothing crazy has happened in the 2 weeks that we've been MIA. There's, of course, worst timing in the world for me to need some time off of the show, and then everything fucking happens. Seth Jones gets traded. The Blackhawks are good again. Levshunov gets called up. Like, just so much. It's so great that the Blackhawks are going to be dominant again, and it's just let's fucking go.
Gotta love it. Can't wait.
All right, that's a show, guys. We can watch Levy plays the debut. No.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll get into that. We'll just get right into it here.
Yes.
So we last recorded, I think, the week right before, or a couple days before the Four Nations Championship. So coming into that, the Hawks lost in a shootout against St. Louis. Better performance.
Yeah, that's the shootout that went fucking 19 rounds or something.
Yeah, 19 rounds forever. So that was the last game we talked about. So including that game, since we last recorded after the Four Nations, the Hawks were losing 5 in a row.
Yes.
And Kyle Davidson thought, you know what? Let's shake something up. Let's make a change. Let's get the mojo flowing in this room. And on the day that he was officially named general manager, on the anniversary, it was like 3 years, I believe, to the date that he was named general manager of Chicago Blackhawks. He fixed the final mistake of Stan Bowman's tenure as a GM of the Chicago Blackhawks by trading away Seth Jones. Mid-season, when none of us thought it was, I'm saying none of us thought it was possible. We thought it was going to be very difficult.
Yes.
Especially considering the team he went to, the Florida Panthers,
and everybody thought you have to retain 50%. You have to retain 50%. I was saying for a long time, I was like, dude, they might not have to retain at all. But like that was more if it was going to happen in the off season.
Right.
But
so
we kind of met somewhere in the middle.
So the trade was Seth Jones and a 2026 fourth round pick for Spencer Knight and a conditional 2026 first round pick that turns into a 2027 if they have no 2026 first round picks, because Florida, something about the state of Florida in their draft picks, they just fucking mortgage these things out to everybody and just pray to God that it works out in some way.
Yeah, I mean, and the only way they wouldn't have that 2026 first round pick is if they somehow miss the playoffs this year and their pick becomes a top 10 pick, because that's the one that they sent to Calgary for Matthew Tkachuk. That's top 10 protected, so it slides to 2026 if that happens.
Now I'm curious, because I know we're going to talk about other trades that happen, but the condition on that round 2, because doesn't it turn into a first round pick?
For what? Marchand?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the 27, 28. So we legitimately have the 2026 first round pick.
Okay, we do.
I don't think there's any chance that they end up missing the playoffs and dropping all the way out, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I remember seeing that and I was like, wait a second. And so is it like 3 teams?
No, they can't. I don't think they can like just straight up trade this 2026 first and be like, well, now yours just slides to 27. Like, no.
Yeah. So yeah,
we have it in because like it's a secondary condition on a 1 pick, and so then if it occurs and changes our pick, then ours has that secondary condition that changes another pick. Like if for whatever reason Florida fucking falls apart, loses every single game from here on out, and gets a top 10 pick, then Calgary gets next year's first, and we get the 2027 first, and then it would still just be a second.
Well, there was a whole nother phase to this too. Like, listen to the conditions on that 2025 pick that could potentially turn to the 2026.
Yeah.
So the Florida Panthers 2025 round 1 pick conditions. If 2024 conditional first round pick owned by Philadelphia moves to 2025, this pick moves to 2026. Condition not met. So that's one done. If this pick is top 10, Calgary receives 2026 first round pick pending. That's just so funny. It's just like, okay, so we're going to trade you this pick, but it potentially could go to this team. So we're going to trade you this pick, but if it goes to this team, this one's going to go to you guys. And then this one might go to you. Like, it's just so funny how it's just like, okay, we're just going to kick this down the road and see what happens.
So my favorite thing about this, which, I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but this 2026 first round pick has 0 protections. So if Florida hits an injury bug next year and they fucking slide and like Bobrovsky's done and like nothing goes right for them, and this is a fucking top 10 pick, it's ours.
That, and then also I think it's a little bit more, and for that exact same reason, it's a little bit more attractive for us to flip to package to make some big swings at NHL ready players and stuff like that too.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know if you would. I'm not saying I don't know if you would trade it, but I'm saying like
thing next year,
right? But if you trade, so if you go to like a team and be like, hey, we'll give you this pick from the Panthers, and then it's like those teams are like, okay, well, it might not be protected. It's not protected, so yeah, why not? Why not take the chance on it? Especially if you're getting quality NHL talent for it.
Yeah. Either way, not only is the pick a decent get, Spencer Knight, what a get!
Oh God, like we were talking about this earlier today, kind of catching up and all, and to me, it feels like this is a game, like this is a legitimate game changer.
Yeah.
And that the way, not only the way that the youth movement has been, which we'll get into in a little bit, and just seeing how Spencer Knight has played those first 2 games with Chicago and how well he's been playing as the backup in Florida this year. Like he's showing why he was such a valuable pick. Was top 15. He was like what, pick 11 or something like that.
I want to say yes, but I think it might have been 19.
The kid's 23 years old.
13. Sorry.
13. Okay.
In 2019, he was 13th.
Gotcha. Okay. So like adding him to the fold, not only that, I mean, that right there solves a huge issue about who the guy is going to be in net.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely pushes a lot of the guys that we were hoping would take the reins to, want to be better, because now you got this big wall of a guy. He's 23. So Soderblom's 25. Yeah. Soderblom, he's played great. He was undrafted. He's played a total of like 70. Actually, that's great. That's pretty impressive. He's played about almost 80 games. Spencer Knight, he's only 23, and he's played about 85 NHL games. I want to say. I think that was right.
Yeah, I mean, he did have he
took the year off.
It was some time with the player assistance program, and
yes.
I don't know if it's ever was revealed why it was or anything like that, but it doesn't matter. He went through it, and he talks about it being better for it and everything.
I think it was something just like
mental
stress.
Yeah.
I think it was stress related, but this is going to
push. God, the players are using that program for what it's been for.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that.
It's going to push players like Comesso for sure, because Comesso is only a year younger than Spencer Knight, and Comesso has a game and a half of NHL experience, and they both played. Did they both play national development team?
Spencer Knight?
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Because I know Comesso was national development team. Let me check Spencer Knight. But they had like similar routes through the draft and then playing college. He played
in the USHL for the US national development team.
Yeah. So
and fucking holy shit, the 2018-2019, his draft year was 32-4.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Yeah, that's why he was a first rounder.
And then he just killed it at Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he gets called up for the Panthers, and he was playing unreal his first couple seasons. He was 4-0 his first 4 starts with the Panthers in 2021, 19-9-3 in 21-22, and then the struggles came, and whatever he was dealing with showed up. 8-3 was his last season in the NHL in 2022-2023. And then this year, just 12-8-1 with the Panthers, 2-0 with the Hawks, 9.51 save percentage and 195 goals against average in 2 games with Chicago, and it's set the tone, and it's crazy the difference from Seth Jones not talking to the media, but then when it decides to, all it is bitching and moaning and crying and all this kind of stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
To Spencer Knight coming in for 2 games and is doesn't matter if we're in last place, we're here to win games, and
he said, doesn't matter if we're in last place, doesn't matter if we're in first place, we're here to win games.
Correct. Sorry, I misquoted that, but still, makes you want to run through a fucking wall, and it's every single it's just night and day difference. It's insane.
Yeah. The post game first star interview that he had with Darren Pang, when he's just I've always loved coming here to play games, so now being on the Blackhawks, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and he's just what do you think about the national anthem? He's like, oh, it's one of a kind. It's amazing. I love it, and I'm just yes. He was just still fucking his eyes are bananas, man.
I was about to say his damn psycho I'm gonna kill you eyes, just nonstop all the time. Even when they gave him the tool belt after his first game, and him even talking in there, when he said that whole thing, doesn't matter if we're in last place, doesn't matter if he still had those eyes. I was dude, this guy wants to fucking kill everybody. I love it. I absolutely love it.
He's still super focused. Yeah, I mean, and he's playing so well too. He's just looking so good.
That save against what was it, Utah? Diving across, stretching across the net, and just god damn. It's amazing that what having a goalie that you trust in net, how it changed watches in the game.
Yeah, and I think that him learning under Bobrovsky, who's a multiple Vezina winner, and then now a Stanley Cup champion, just seeing how he approaches the game, I don't think there's anyone really better that somebody could have learned from in this league at this point.
Yeah.
Shesterkin's really good, Vasilevsky's really good, but they haven't been doing it for as long as Bobrovsky has.
And he's 23 years old.
He's 23 years old. Yep.
And you talked about Soderblom and all that kind of stuff, and it's how many games has it been since? It's been 5 games since this trade, and I feel Seth, or not Seth Jones, Jesus, Soderblom, we talked about all year how great he's been playing, especially compared to last season, and just him up in his game. I feel too, the good thing about Spencer Knight is that he's gonna make everybody prove that they needed the second guy. You touched on it earlier, but it's watching Soderblom play these couple games with the rotation since Spencer Knight in. It's he's a completely different goalie again already. And he for the good. And it's it's just making everybody better around him. And Bedard is out there. He's smiling. Everybody was talking about oh, Bedard's looks like a school shooter, frowning and all that kind of stuff all the time. But it's he's out there, he's enjoying it now. And it's just I think that just, and I hate to do it because I defended him all the time. I did say I liked him and all that. But it's I feel there's something about Seth Jones that
I'm telling you,
didn't see.
I honestly feels obviously we'll never know what the difference is between him on the team and him off the team, but like from what I can see and like what I saw on the ice, it seems like it's his ego. Like it really felt like a lot of when he's out there, like it needs to run through him.
Right.
And it's just like that's not like the team plays better as a team without him out there, which is just like crazy because he would be out there 25 minutes a game.
And that's one thing too. Yeah, like I remember we always talked about like how like we would call him out for looking Bedard off on the power play, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's just us looking at it. And then after the trade went through, I was looking on the X, and there's the amount of people that were like, oh my god, we never have to watch Seth Jones look off Bedard on the power play anymore. And it's like the amount of people saying that, and it's just like it's like unreal, man. Like if I wish Seth Jones was as good as he thought he was.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Oh,
that's
God.
the thing. Oh, geez, Bedard is puck in the face.
Right in the throat.
God damn it.
He's fine.
Our baby boy.
Oh, my God, my baby boy. We're talking about him. He's okay. But yeah, no, it's like, the future of your team, the guy that's going to put up all the most points on your team, like that's the guy that everything should be running through on the power play. And yet we had Seth Jones who would constantly just look him off or not look in his direction or shoot it instead. And it's just like, what the fuck is like, what are we fucking doing here? He
wasn't like that with Kaner, was he?
No, because Kaner was older and Kaner's been doing it much longer. I think it's the whole this is supposed to be my team, and everybody's like, this is Bedard's team, and it's probably just like a jealousy thing. But I don't know. That's just the vibe it gets, and it's the whole, like I said, it's the whole ego thing, man. Like I don't know. This team just feels so different. Left shots on the power play. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. They're having fun. It's at that perfect time of the year where it's like, okay, we know we're not making playoffs. We're pretty much set bottom 5 in the draft lottery. Probably bottom 3. I don't know. I haven't looked at the standings in a while, but like you know where you're gonna be at, kind of thing. You got these pieces that you didn't think you were gonna have all of a sudden part of your team. And now it's time to just, finish strong the rest of the way, the last 18 games or whatever the Hawks have left, and just build on something. You're going to start seeing a lot of the young kids coming up. I mean, Kyle Davidson, after the trade deadline, alluded to that there are guys that they're eyeing to sign as soon as their college season ends. So they're going to play some time. It's going to be like Nazar last year, where he shows up for the last couple games of the season and plays, get some experience up there. But it's like it's an exciting time, and it's one of those things like I want to say, hey, I told you so to all the people that were like freaking out about the way this team is progressing and playing for not playing, we're not winning games and we should be blah, blah, blah like this. It's like, you had to be patient, things were going to develop when they're supposed to. And look at what happened. We make one trade. We get this contract off. We get a goalie of the future. We have all of our youth coming up and playing well. You have a ton of cap space going into next year. Like, it's time to start adding. Like, this team is going to realistically probably the rebuild is moved up a year.
Yeah, I think like we really drilled a piece. That was McKinnon's 1,000th point, by the way.
Nate Dogg.
Yeah. Oh wait, are they challenging the goal? Did they challenge it? I hope this is gonna be so funny because like everybody already knows like what happened, but like we're getting this in real time, and it's really funny to me that like, yeah, your 1,000th point. Try it again.
I hope if they toss the 1,000-point puck on the bench, the trainer just goes and whips it.
Yeah. Oh my god, get this fucking puck out of here. What are they trying to see? Is he offside? Yeah, he's offside. All right, Perfect. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
So another thing. So since the Seth Jones trade, the Hawks, I mean, before tonight, when they're playing the Avs, the Hawks are 3-0-2, right? So comparing from that date, the 1st, until today, the 10th, the Hawks would actually they're tied for the most points in that time span in the NHL with 8, with Dallas, Washington, Carolina, and Florida. All top teams in the league, which is just so funny to me.
So
Actually, Florida is the only team that also doesn't have a regulation loss in that time span because they're just 4-0, and every other team is 4-1. And the Hawks are 3-0-2. So that's pretty great. It's just also funny. The Hawks are averaging 4 goals a game, 2.8 goals against. Oh my God, dude, Florida's averaging a quarter of a goal against per game. That's fucking stupid. But then the Hawks are averaging 21 shots for per game, which actually Dallas is only averaging 22. But then the Hawks are averaging 35 shots against. And I mean, Dallas is averaging 29. That's kind of crazy.
Dallas also, though, I mean, they can get away with not shooting as much because they got the more rounded talent where they make their shots count.
Yeah, they don't have to pay state tax on their shots, so that's why it's fine.
I mean, this review shouldn't be taking this long.
Oh, is it? I mean,
it's still going.
That's funny. Anyway, the Hawks are fucking awesome.
So what you're saying is
in that time span. So Ryan Donato has 8 points in 5 games with 4 goals and 4 assists. Teravainen's got 7 with 2 goals and 5 assists, and Ilya Mikheyev has 5. Also, Connor Bedard's back on the board after going scoreless for
7 games?
6-7 games.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice.
Sick OT winner with the Winter Class jersey too.
Yes.
Should have did it in Wrigley, but okay.
Oh, also, yeah. Spencer Knight comes into the Blackhawks, puts on the Winter Classic jersey, and gets a dub. The thing that no one can do.
I'm not saying he's our Jesus Christ, but I'm not saying it either.
Yeah. Also, in that time span, Connor Bedard is sitting at 50% face-off percentage.
Things are clicking, man. It's
Seth Jones's fault that we didn't win face-offs. That's so dumb. But I do like the way the team is. The team. Oh no shit. Let's go. The team is just they're riding high right now, dude, and I'm all for it.
Like I said, they're having fun. They're enjoying it again, and that's all that really matters. And I remember too. I think I tweeted it out after Nazar's penalty shot goal, and it's like if you weren't excited about this team's future, it's like I don't know what to tell you because this shit is electric. Nazar is gonna be so fucking good for this team.
Yeah,
and
plus, dude, whoever we draft this year too, that's another piece. And I'm sure they're gonna probably lean on getting a forward, but it's gonna be nasty.
Do you think that's the case though? Now that they got rid of Seth Jones, do you think that gives them the excuse to go, if they get that first overall pick, to go defenseman? Because isn't he a right-handed defenseman?
He's left.
Oh, he's a left. Okay, never mind. If he was right-handed, yeah, maybe that's a different story. But I think
either way, because on the right you're looking at Levshunov and Rinzel, and then what is it? I got Louis Crevier. What was I thinking about before? There was another one. I can't remember if the guy. No, is the kid that they also just traded for from Arizona? Is he right-handed?
Utah.
Yeah, whatever. It's like Willis Tower. I'm just gonna call him Arizona forever.
Victor Soderstrom.
Yeah, is he right-handed?
He's a right-handed shot.
Defenseman, right? That's the defenseman. Yeah.
Yeah. He is. He was the.
He's 11th. He was 11th overall pick that year.
That's what it was. I got him mixed up. Two picks with that. With Seth. Spencer Knight and him. But
that's so funny. Yeah, it's the same draft. No shit.
yeah. So, that trade. I mean, KD was talking about how much he liked him, and he was keeping an eye on him playing because he's over in Sweden right now.
Yes.
Dude, I gotta go forward.
I think so too. Since we're just bringing this kid up real quick too, he is playing in Sweden. He has 36 points in 48 games with 9 goals and 27 assists.
Let's go.
That's pretty good. I think, I mean, it's one of those things where Arizona, I think, was just so poorly run and he probably just like didn't want to be there. But we may never see him over here. You never know. He might just be happy over there too. But other than that,
he'll be a little bit shorter though.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
6 foot.
Hawks stats are looking great. The team's looking good. They're giving up a lot of shots. They don't fucking care because they're coming away with dubs.
Yeah, that's all that matters at this point, you know. Like,
you want to talk about just the trade deadline for the Hawks?
So real quick, the other trades for the Hawks. Yeah. After bringing Spencer Knight, you know, they pretty much said that they're going to be rocking with Knight and Soderblom as the duo. Again, Seth Jones, take notes. Petr Mrazek handled that situation like a total fucking pro.
Yeah, dude. It was, which is just like cements Petr Mrazek as like such a great fucking goalie and player in my mind, because like he was the one of the only bright spots that we had last season, and like I feel like this year it was a little bit down, but I think it's because he's probably, you know, a little burnt out.
Yeah.
But I think
talked about it. He deserved to go to, like, I really thought it made sense for him to go to Edmonton.
Yeah.
And really solidify that 1A, 1B up there. And I wanted him to really go to Edmonton, have a shot at, you know, a deep playoff run, because for what he did for the Hawks in the short time he was here, he fucking deserved it. He deserved the opportunity to go play for a winner. I mean, Detroit's in the mix for the wild card. I don't think they're gonna get it. But it's like, you know what? He's gonna go back to where it all started for him. And Yzerman already pretty much said that he's gonna be a factor for next year because he's still under contract. He said that was one of the attractive things about grabbing him.
Yeah.
Was that he had one more year. So it'll probably be him and Talbot next year for Detroit. And
which is I think it's a really good duo. And then the fact that we were able to get him off the books full salary because we had no retention spots left, like that's a great trade.
Yeah, and it also cost us Craig Smith, which fine, whatever.
Well, I was saying, like, we all know that like Craig Smith is probably a trade bait at the
100%.
And I'm surprised that there's more guys that are still on the team rather than off the team like I thought they would be.
Yeah. And then we got Joseph Foligno.
Yeah, Foligno.
He was another former first round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like, I think 30th. Yeah, 30th overall in 2018.
So I forgot how that trap class was. It was either a late first round or an early second round pick. But
that's the Rasmus Dahlin draft.
Yeah. And let
me see who was drafted right around him. Rasmus Sandin was taken 29. Nils Lundqvist 28. Oh, Nicholas Beaudin is 27.
Yeah, I think we traded that pick with Dallas, and because didn't Ottinger go 26?
No, that Beaudin pick is what we got from Nashville for.
Wait,
Ryan
when
Hartman.
was Ottinger 2017?
Yes.
Dude, I'm like a year off on everything right now with all these trades, because I know the Hawks traded the pick to Dallas that ended up turning into be Ottinger.
Oh no shit!
I'm just like,
that's funny.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got Foligno for one more year, 2.275 cap hit. So, I mean, it's low risk, high reward situation for him. Do I think he's gonna suddenly define his game? No, but it gives us more depth options.
Yeah, I mean, he's 10 years younger than Craig Smith, so like that's always a nice thing.
Yeah,
and then like him having like almost 2.3 in the cap hit isn't too bad too, because like we need to reach the cap floor next season.
Which is where this next trade comes in.
Absolutely.
It was just a random trade at the buzzer beater, and it caught me off guard at first until I kind of like sat back and I remembered, oh yeah, the cap floor is a thing. The Blackhawks traded a 2026 fifth round pick to the Utah Hockey Club for Shea Weber's contract.
No, it's Shea Weber, not his contract. It's just Shea Weber.
It's his contract.
Yes.
He's gonna come out of retirement like, I was just fooling around. Here we go.
Yeah. And he just slaps a clap. He just claps one and then breaks Bedard's leg, and he goes, "All right, guys, sorry, I gotta go."
I think it's signing rights to Victor Soderstrom, right? Like, I don't think he actually has a contract
because he's an RFA, so they have
and
signing rights.
Also, right winger. Is it
Yeah, go for it.
Q Ratty?
I think it's Aku
Roddy. Okay, I wasn't too off. I wasn't too bad.
No, you weren't.
But he'll be an RFA at the end of this season. He's a 23-year-old.
Fifth round
pick. Strictly AHL this year, I believe, right? I
think that's just an AHL move.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? The kids are coming up. You got to fill up the farm system. Rockford still needs players.
That's true. And he has 44 points in. Oh, was that last year? That's last year. Sorry. Whoa, drop off though. 44 points in 55 games last year. Now he's got 19 in 50. So maybe they're like, oh, well, we need somebody for the AHL, and he was pretty good last season. Maybe he can rekindle that spark. Either way, the Hawks literally just gave up a fifth rounder to help them reach the floor and then possibly see if there's something still there with Victor Soderstrom.
I don't know if saying that's the right way to say it. I think you don't really know. I don't think he's had a shot.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. The
way you said, like, see if there's still something there. Like, I'm like, I don't think he really is. Not that there's something not there for him. I just don't think he's had the opportunity to truly show.
Right. For where he was drafted, and to see if like that's still what was it? If the expectation can still be met.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's fair. But yeah, I love that. Like, at first I was like, why Shea Weber? But then it's like, no, it makes sense because now you don't have to go and throw stupid money out just to get to the cap floor.
Yeah.
You have the options with this guy. I mean, that's what, 9. You're essentially paying Seth Jones' contract for one more year.
Yes.
Because you take what the retain from Jones, it's a little bit more than what you would have paid Seth Jones, but I mean,
yeah. And
game plan essentially doesn't change.
Utah was literally like they're trying to make moves so that they can, make a splash this summer. And so, we kind of gave them a little help there, which I think it's fine, like be good friends with Utah. That's okay with me.
It's a weak free agent class. And it's like, sure, we'll take on a crappy contract, or, that helps us get to the cap floor so we can get through the season. And you can go out and spend your money this year so that next year when, there's a little bit more options out there. Okay, cool. We're ready to go. Like,
yeah. And I'm curious because like you said, it's a little bit of a weaker draft class, and Davidson came out saying that they're ready to start using some of these picks as, ammo to acquire players instead.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not looking at like, instead of the free agent class, they're looking at the guys that are going to be becoming free agents sooner than later. And, with teams like the Islanders who are slowly on the decline. Yeah, I know, right? And then like Boston, who's slowly declining. Like what are some of the options there? Rhoda. And honestly, like off the top of my head, like I wonder if you could kick some tires on like Matty Barzal.
Although there was something I saw that Lou Lamoriello said that the Islanders are going to be aggressive this summer. So I don't know if Barzal would be an option, but then just kind of looking at pending 2026 free agents, and I know a lot of these names aren't going to be there. They're going to be re-signed probably July 1st coming up. But I mean, so I won't even say McDavid, Panarin, those two, don't worry about. Eichel, don't think about. McCarr, don't think about. Kirill Kaprizov potentially could be an option that Hawks can potentially be, building up for. They got like Kyle Connor would be another interesting piece. I think that hits the free agency market. It's like there's not a lot of pieces that I'm like, oh shit, like the Hawks got to go spend in free agency. So it's like I feel like the prospects that we have that are kind of like they're good, but they're just not going to be, a priority right now. Plus some of the draft capital that we have after our first round pick, our first overall pick, that's our own pick, whatever.
Yeah.
I think everything is on the table for trades.
Yeah.
That's the only pick, whatever we pick in the draft, like our own draft, first round draft pick next year is the only one that you keep for sure, no matter what. I think anything else you put on the table for possible trade. And we threw some names out.
RFAs.
Or RFAs, yeah, which sucks that Johnston is off the table.
Yeah.
But
Peterka's still there.
That's one, like, yeah, we were talking about that with like Buffalo. Like,
yeah.
What's Buffalo doing? Like, could a potentially a Tage Thompson be available? Could a JJ Peterkin be had for a couple draft picks?
Yeah, I think that Tage Thompson is because I think that Peterka would fit the timeline much better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree too. I still stand by a Brock Besser coming into Chicago. I love that idea of signing him, and the fact that one, Vancouver wasn't able to trade him because they wanted a lot for him, and two, that they weren't able to come to an agreement before the trade deadline. I think that definitely says that there's the chance that he will become available in free agency.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with all this shit that's just been going on there too, like
that guy's gonna want out.
Maybe he wants to do a little Matty Kachuk and just be like, I'm going to America.
I'm out. Yeah. And just bringing him in and, boasting that top six, like, dude, Dard feeding him for the one tease with his fucking shot that he's got. God damn, let's go.
Yeah. That'd be so nice.
But it's like, I feel like all the Hawks need to do this upcoming summer is just add one to two solid vet pieces, and maybe another hey, let's take a chance on this kind of
yeah.
And we were talking about today too, and I have the biggest pit in my stomach that Brad Marchand's a Blackhawk.
Yeah,
and I really don't like it.
It has all the feeling of that's somebody that Katie's going to target this summer because he likes his ex-Bruins and he likes veteran, guys that have that experience of, I guess it's what he has. It's everything that he has is what he's looking for. It's just, I hate the package that it comes in.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. But honestly, I feel like I was already confident in this team. I trust the process. I trusted what KD was trying to build and sell everybody. But just one move at this trade deadline just truly just hit it home that oh shit. If you're still questioning if KD knows what he's doing, then it's I don't know what else you need to see from him.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out there. You're not going to get a Mitch Marner or a Mikko Rantanen just like that. This isn't NHL 25. You can't just go and throw stupid money out. There's a lot more to take in. And I think he's doing the right thing. I do question a few things. I question the Bertuzzi contract. I question, maybe not trading Ryan Donato, maybe being a little, hell bent on getting, a first round pick for him or whatever it ended up being.
I like that we kept Donato.
I know, I don't get me wrong. I do see both sides of it. I just think if and maybe I'm just, I got to take my own advice here. If there was a pick to be had, a trade to be had to get it, then he would have done it.
Yeah.
And maybe it just shows you that he, expiring contract or not, he's not going to undersell something just to undersell something. And I think that just also proves the lack of importance on getting draft picks are now. Because I think before he would have took a second, or he probably would have took a third round for Donato, no questions asked, just to get that draft capital back up. But now there's no need for that.
It's so funny. Donato has the most goals for the Blackhawks over the last 3 years so far that I've gone back. Yeah. Like, not like total. I'm just saying, like, for the season, he has 23 goals. Last year was Bedard was number 1 at 22, and the year before that,
just total goals.
Yeah, and the year before that, it was Athanasiou and Radish at 20.
And the list of players that he's had more even strength goals than this season is just, he's had 18 of his goals were even strength.
As of right now, I think so. Or 20 of them. Nope. 17. Is that right? 17. No, that's assists. See, it's 20. It's 20 even strength goals.
20, yeah. What kind of contract do you think? One, do you think it's is it weird that they don't have something locked in? And two, what do you think, what kind of contract do you think you're looking at for him?
I think it's difficult because he's probably referencing Jason Dickinson's contract because he was in a similar place last year. And at least the dollar value, right? The 425. But I think that the Hawks are kind of like, okay, that was just so we can meet the floor. Like, I would assume they would look at more than just a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're going to do, let's say 4 years, I could see 3.5 for 4 years. But he probably would like to do more. But, also, I think Donato's the type of guy that would like some more stability.
That's what you gotta wonder if he's gonna be okay. Can you sell him you'll be here for 4 years, but we're only gonna give you X amount.
Yeah. Maybe they can toss in the trade protection. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it sucks because I do like Donato. I hate that I hate the whole contract year things.
That's the thing though too is there is all the talks that came out about how he really hammered in his skating this summer and it's really he's getting such good results this whole year, and he's one of those players that can play all throughout the lineup, and those a lot of teams were taking notice on how good he's been playing. And so I think it's just the type of player who works his fucking ass off is the type of guy that you should probably keep in the locker room.
At a reasonable price.
Yeah. But the Hawks have plenty of room to spare right now. So
right. But that's what I'm saying though. It's okay, are you gonna give him 2 years and then you're gonna give him more money and then you look like, you know what, or are you gonna give him more term but convince him to take less money? That's just pretty much what it comes down to. And I know the Hawks have plenty of space to work with, but it's these kids' contracts are gonna be coming up fucking quick and a lot at the same time.
What if Donato's just I don't care how much money it is, just give me 8 years. Just let me just play somewhere for 8 years. Let me
give you the Frankie Nazar NHL 25 contract I signed. 8 years at 3 whatever or 2 whatever.
3 1/4.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this team goes this summer. It's so funny. I'm enjoying watching them play, but it's also let's get to the draft so more moves can start happening and this team can start being built more. All right.
Do you think that the Hawks end up making that draft pick for the Toronto pick that they have?
No.
Just early vibes, early feeling. No, you don't think so? I don't either.
I think it's either dealt for a player or they're going to make a big push to get kind of like how they were trying to get 4 last year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to make a big push to try to move up again.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lot to be worth it. Depends on kind of where they end up in the draft lottery after the draft lottery.
If it's the same thing, it would just be next year's first and that first round pick. And
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know who, like, it just depends on, like, what's available on the draft, like, what they're trying to trade for kind of thing. Because I know, like we said, I think after, like, the top 6, it falls off big time or something like that, or top 8, something like that. It starts falling
Yeah, I mean,
off.
it's like I
But,
think there's a clear top 4, and then some guys that are also up there, but I don't know. We'll
yeah,
see.
so, yeah, we'll see. All right, trade deadline talk, and a couple of things here, and we'll wrap up. Some of the moves that were made that really stood out to you.
Reese Johnson is now a Toronto Maple Leaf. My boy Reese.
Um,
But yeah, the Leafs also got Brandon Carlo and what's his face, Scott Lawton. The fact that Ottawa traded Josh Norris for Dylan Cousins, I thought was kind of crazy. I mean, obviously there was a little bit more in that trade. Mikko Rantanen moving again and then getting signed is wild.
Dude, he was throwing a fucking fit too. It kind of felt like just I was kind of
Mhm.
hoping that he was gonna fuck both Dallas and Carolina over by just not agreeing to a contract with Dallas, because it was like
Yeah,
getting to a point where it was getting too late for Carolina to make the move.
yeah.
And I was like somebody had to have explained income tax to him
He
or
must have
something.
been what it was. But
Um,
I think it's funny that Rantanen is back in the Central, and then has a possibility of playing his old team in the first round.
yeah, kind of hope he just fucking puts his dick out on McKinnon. I don't know why I said that. I like McKinnon. I don't mind
Yeah,
him.
it's fucking Landeskog like makes his comeback just to fucking put Mikko Rantanen into the ice.
Yeah. I mean, so Florida, I think, is got to still be a favorite to repeat, right? Like, I mean, they really boasted their lineup. I mean, they did lose Ekblad for the first 2 playoff games with his
Yes.
suspension.
Oh, it carries into the playoffs for that
Yeah, so it's the
suspension.
18 games plus the first 2 playoffs. Plus, I mean, because he's in the player assistance program, so I don't know if there's even more, if he's going to miss more games because of that, or
Oh,
how
because
that all
they
works
have to
out.
let you go, don't
Yeah.
they? Like you can't just leave. I'll tell you what, Colorado is gonna be the scariest team
Oh yeah.
because they brought in Brock Nelson and Charlie Coyle, as well as Ryan Lindgren. And then Jimmy Vesey's not a bad pickup too, as
And
well as
Necas
like Martin
has been
Netches has been
Necas has been
killing it
playing
for them.
unreal for them.
Hmm. So that team, I mean, and also Mackenzie Black was just having himself a time there too. They're going to be
Dude,
disgusting. They've also brought Eric Johnson back, which is like what a sweetheart moment for
yeah.
him.
And then you got like I feel like it's Colorado in the West
Yeah,
that like really improved. I think Vegas is still, I mean, original misfit Riley Smith coming back.
yeah, which
Then
is
you
I
got
think just
obviously,
funny.
yeah, you got
They're
obviously the
already trying to get
Dallas.
the band back together.
Yeah.
Like anytime we see that kind of shit, and I'm just like, geez, isn't it a little early for that?
Dallas adds Rantanen, and then it's like the West, man. It's Florida adding Marchand, Seth Jones, and just like really like hammering home, solidifying that team. Then you got Tampa bringing back Yanni Gord and
Yep.
Borgstrom and just Borstred, sorry, and just really like becoming like a scary team again there too. It was like that's why everybody was just like Florida did that, Tampa did this, and people were just like, huh, Toronto, you fucking want to wake up, like let's go, like,
Hmm.
um, and then it's like I feel like Carolina always being like a favorite, I feel now like they have fallen off. I don't
Yeah.
see them being as big as of a threat as they were. Um, but you know what? I'll give it to them. A great attempt. They took a big swing by picking up Rantanen and
Yeah.
and trying to make it work. I just feel like they got played big time with that whole situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you listen to 32 Thoughts at all?
I did not.
Because Elliot Friedman thinks that it's a situation where Carolina was allowed to talk to like his agent and gave him like if we trade for you, would you sign with us? And like his agent or Rantanen, like they thought it was just a tactic that Colorado was using for their contract talks. So they tried to call their bluff and were like, yeah, we'd sign with you guys. And then it ends up getting traded there, thinking that wasn't what was going to happen.
Did you see the thing? I don't know how accurate it is. I forgot I should have saved, screenshot it, but there was a post saying that Rantanen, when he got to Carolina, said like he's going to sign for 4 teams and you're not one of them. It was like according to like Rob Brindamore said that Rantanen said that talking about Carolina.
Oh, really? That's so funny.
That's why I'm like, I'm kind of glad, everybody was like, oh, the Hawks got to get Rantanen, like, or they got to get Marner, and I'm just like, I'm so glad they're just like, we'll retain some salary and we'll get the pick for it, but we're gonna stay out of that one.
Yeah, we'll take our pick back, please. Thank you. Now, who really lost that trade?
Yeah, right. Hawks don't look so dumb now, do they?
Yeah, Tampa just fucking unloading firsts every trade deadline. I'm pretty sure that these first round picks were already traded, but like nobody's keeping track anymore because they just get rid of them all.
When it seems like trades like that go through where these picks have been traded again, I always think of the Chappelle skit where he's the president and they're like, oh, what are you talking about this? And then he's like, he knocks over Waters, like, wrong guys. Like, it's like, oh, we don't have no draft. Like, we'll trade you our first round pick. You don't have that. Oh shit, run! Like, and they just like, run out of like the room. Like
they get the call to the NHL, like, we're gonna trade this for this, and then like, well, they don't have that. And it's like, what do you mean they don't have that? Like, fuck yeah, dude. And then that whole Vegas trade, they literally have just their past draft,
Trevor Connolly,
first rounder, and like no other ones, no picks, no first rounders other than that one.
Wasn't he Trevor Connolly too? Wasn't there something controversial with him too?
No,
I thought there was a forward like kept falling because of some like there was something like.
I think it was just like they weren't too sure how good he would end up being. I can't remember. Other than that, though, it was a good trade deadline. I think there was
it was
some interesting moves. The Anthony Beauvillier getting moved for a second, I thought was kind of crazy since he got moved for 2/4 last year. Literally, fucking, we gave Vancouver a 4th, and then Nashville gave us a 4th, and then now he's worth a second.
Yeah. How about, speaking of trades like that, Wallman, Yzerman, and gave us him and a second round to San Jose just to get rid of him, and San Jose turns him into a first rounder.
I don't think San Jose turned him into a first rounder. I think he was a good player, and whoever had their fucking panties in a knot in Detroit and didn't like it when he hit the grid, he whenever fucking scoring a game winner, was like, get this guy the fuck off my team. And somehow Greer was like, I mean, I'll do it if you give me a second as well. And they're like, fine, that's fine.
And then Wallman, Trevor Connolly, by the way.
There was?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it in a second. But then Wallman actually had a good year on a terrible team. He was like a +1. It was kind of like, it reminds me of like Jake McCabe, except he's more offensive. But remember when McCabe was on our team, he was like a +4. Everybody was like a -12.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. 32 points though in 50 games on the last place team in the league.
Reading Red Wings Twitter about him, it sounds almost like a little bit of a Seth Jones situation where there's just something like he didn't gel right with the locker room and all that. So it was just like one of those like, all right, let's just move on and be done with it.
Which I just don't understand why give up a second rounder too.
Right.
Like that was just weird.
That's one of
those what's the Trevor Connolly controversy?
So when he was 16, posted a picture to Snapchat of him and a teammate posting what appears to be a library with a swastika built out of children's blocks, captioned creations. And then another occasion, he was accused of and suspended for using racial slurs during a game, which he denied. The suspension was overturned when they couldn't find any evidence against it.
Oh.
Just stuff like that. I mean, I knew it wasn't. I didn't think it was like crazy, like that one kid that fucking
made kid eat a lollipop out of a fucking urinal.
Like it wasn't that bad. But I mean, not saying that that stuff's any like good or anything like that. But it's like I knew there was something with him that I think people were kind of questioning his character a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Last thing you got.
Yes. So, Ovi, ever heard of him? He is so close.
Making 99 is bitch.
So fucking close. One thing that I was looking up because I was like, I wonder how much longer it's taking him to do this than Gretzky.
Mm.
Do you know the games played difference between him and Gretzky?
You know what's funny? I remember seeing this like yesterday,
Oh, really? No
but
shit.
I don't remember the numbers. I know Ovi's could do it quicker.
Yes, which is wild, isn't it?
Yeah, considering
Considering Gretzky had a 92 goal season.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Ovi's had 2 lockouts,
Well,
COVID.
those are just missed games. Those aren't like games played without a goal.
That's fair. No, yeah, that's fair.
It's just
Right.
that's why it's taking him what feels like so much longer.
Yeah.
Ovechkin, as of right now, he's not playing tonight, is he?
No.
Okay. He's got 1,474 games. And Gretzky finished with 1,487 games. Actually, I don't know if he could do it quicker because I don't know if Gretzky scored a goal in his last game. You know?
I don't know. I just know everybody was saying that he has the potential to do it quicker. The few posts I saw like talking about it, because like one post does it and then everybody like goes and recreates the post in their own way.
Yeah, but that only makes sense if Gretzky scored in his very last game, which he didn't. Gretzky scored, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games before his last game. So Gretzky did it.
Idiots.
Gretzky did it in 1478.
What's
And
Ovi at?
Ovi's at 1474. So Ovi has 4 games to technically do it quicker.
I mean, that's just an Ovechkin trick away. So
I'm fucking waiting for it, dude. Can you imagine if he fucking does an Ovechkin trick? Like, that would be so fucking funny. Wait, he's 8 away, right? 9 away. He
9
is
away.
Yeah.
He's 8 to tie, 9 to beat it.
Dude, if he gets 3 hat tricks in these next 3 games, like he can do it, and he would get it by 1. And that's the thing. So we should be the ones to say, like, hey, if he fucking doesn't do it before game 1478, he doesn't do it quicker than Gretzky.
That's fair.
It is.
It is fair.
Gretzky didn't score a goal in his last 9 games, so it doesn't fucking matter. The record was already set. Bunch of fucking idiots. like everybody has this thing, then I'm fucking like thinking I'm clever, and then I'm like, wait, no,
we're gonna come back.
We're all wrong because Gretzky did it in fucking fewer games still.
We're gonna come back next week to the correction, like, okay, here's the actual stat.
Yeah, dude.
So.
I can't wait. Everybody's gonna be like, he did it in fewer games. No, he fucking didn't. He's got 4 games to do it. Remember that, everyone. 4 games to do it. He's not gonna fucking do it. He's still gonna get the record, just not in fewer games.
Yeah, hopefully this year.
He would have easily done it in fewer games though, had he not had those lockout seasons, because it would be already done.
Oh, it'd be already done, and yeah, he'd be back in Mother Russia.
Yeah, he wouldn't have signed that contract. No. He wouldn't have signed. Well, I mean, and Washington would not be anywhere near where they're at right now. But god damn.
So, all right, episode 311. What do you want to call it?
I told you, Amber.
Amber.
No, I'm just kidding. It's like.
What'd you say right down? Let the kids
rip, but I want to be like, thank you, Petr Mrazek. See you later, Seth Jones. It's the kids' show now. Oh, you know what I was thinking? It
Jones'
really
fault.
You know, it really fuck.
All Jones' fault.
Yeah, the face-offs can't win them. Jones' fault. It's like the thanks Obama. It's like thanks Seth for everything that went wrong. Fuck, what was I just thinking of? I can't remember now. lost it. That's what happens.
We're off for a couple weeks. We get rusty. We forget how to do it.
I had something on the tip of my tongue, and then I had to go off on a tangent. So feels great. We're back.
Hawks. Should we just do like Hawks are good? Question mark.
Well, it really should just be like thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter. Okay, I'll just do that. Fuck it.
PETR. Thanks, Peter.
Fuck fouls.
Yeah, I love it. PETRMR.
All right, make sure to follow us on your podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the big two. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, social media at WCB Podcast, and we'll see you on the next ones.
All right, love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.